Good morning everybody and welcome back to my channel. Today is a video update on my journey back to health. So first of all, I'd just like to say welcome to the channel. Yes, I know I'm a sewing channel, but I actually want to document my journey back to health, and I decided last week after talking to a few friends that I would upload it here. So basically once a week I'm going to check in, whether it be for 5 minutes or 25 minutes. I'm going to check in and tell you how my week has been going. So last time we spoke, I gave you a little bit of a rundown of where I've ended up and how I got there. Obviously there is a lot more in there into the story and all the rest of it, but I mean, really, did I want to bore you for a couple of hours and stuff like that? So it's all about life choices and things that I've done and over time and all the rest of it. And I've ended up here at age 50 and not feeling the best. So I decided at the beginning of the year that I was going to make a change to my lifestyle and my mostly my diet. I'm heavily overweight. I'm 5'4". When I started this in January, I was 87 kilos, and basically not feeling the best. So I decided that I was going to make some changes. I was going to go back to a vegetarian diet because that's when I felt the best in my life. And basically then I made that extra step to cut out all animal products altogether. So that was a little bit of a struggle, and you know, a few people commented and said, you know, that they probably not for them, just to be careful and all the rest of it. I am going to be very careful. I am learning as much as I can about it. I know that people have concerns, but I'm not concerned at all. I know that a vegetarian diet was good for me, and basically so I've decided to go that one step further and to take out animal products altogether. So I am doing a transition. I'm in transition at the moment, just learning all the things that I can learn about veganism and whole food plant-based diets. I am in the process of reading the Starch Solution by Dr. Mcdougall, and I'm watching Physicians Committee, Exam Room and stuff like that, and just listening to people talk and what they've got to say and all that sort of stuff. I've watched a couple of documentaries, Forks Over Knives, Game Changers. Game Changers was amazing. That was an amazing documentary that I watched, and the one thing that stood out for me in that was the guy that lifts really like heavy weights and all the rest of it, and he's vegan. Like, it was all based on vegans and stuff like that, and what they eat and the performance and stuff and what they have achieved. And he was right. Like, he goes, the biggest animals on the world are plant eaters, so why wouldn't it work for us? You know, like, and it was just something that statement alone was probably the one thing that changed it for me, for just going back to vegetarian. I have at this stage, because I am in a transition and I'm trying to, like, I haven't had any animal products since the 14th of January. We're now at the 3rd of February at the time of this filming. So basically this will go up on the 4th, basically. I'm pretty sure we're at the 3rd. Let me just double check my diary. I could be wrong. Yes, we're at the 3rd. So I'm at day 20 of my journey into whole food plant-based. Now I do have a couple of things that I have left in my diet, just to make that transition, just to weed those foods out and whatnot. So from what I've been reading so far, which is super hard for me because I've grown up in a household where olive oil is like the be all and end all. I have used a little bit of coconut oil in the past and stuff like that for cooking, usually only in curries I use that for. I don't tend to fry or anything in it. Mostly I use it for my hair and my skin, but yeah, just things like that I've got a piece of fluff on I've been sewing this morning and I've been handling wadding, so I have a piece of wadding that's just annoying me. So if I rub my eye, I do apologise. Could not see the camera at all then with my glasses off, so hopefully I didn't go too cross-eyed on you. Yeah, so basically I've always cooked with oil and stuff like that. So that has been a little bit of a struggle for me. Although I am making better inroads into taking that out. So the majority of my meals in the last 2 weeks, I'd say 1.5 to 2 weeks, haven't had any oil in it, like in dressings or anything like that. And I've only my frying pan wasn't the best and stuff was sticking, and I put a little bit of oil in that, so because I knew it was going to stick. But I've now started to swap them over for vegetable stock or water, and I stir fry in those. So I've been listening to a couple of podcasts and all the rest of it. I've found a girl from New Zealand who is been talking about calorie density and stuff like that. I will link up all their channels and their podcasts and everything underneath if it's something that you want to go and look at. It is people that have just, have come to that have been vegan for quite some time, have also wanted to lose weight or were overweight vegans and didn't know why and stuff like that. So these are all the things that I've been looking at in the last couple of weeks. So it's been super exciting. It's been a lot of learning. There has been a lot of, you get a little bit of confused on all the rest of it, but the general consensus is whole food, plant-based, low oil, if not no oil. If you're trying to lose weight, then no oil at all. They're very high in calorie for no benefit whatsoever. And essentially, if you want to get real technical, it is a processed food. It's not like olive oil doesn't grow on trees or in the ground or anything like that. So it is still a processed food. So that's what I'm doing at the moment. I'm trying to cut out all processed foods. So it is a slow and gradual process. The only thing I have processed at the moment, and it is purely for convenience, is some falafel, because falafel takes a little while to make and I'm really time poor at the moment. So I've got them there for snacks and stuff like that. I don't have them every day. It's probably every couple of days that I have them. I have on Sundays, the last couple of Sundays I've been cooking some roast vegetables. So I've got my air fryer and I've just been chopping up a heap of carrots and pumpkin and sweet potato and potatoes and capsicum, zucchinis. I love baked zucchinis and all that sort of stuff. So I've just been chucking them into the air fryer, and I've got a container in the fridge, and then I'll do that again probably on a Wednesday. So I did that on Sunday, and I did it again last night, which was Tuesday night, because I didn't cook as much on Sunday. So I cooked up a big batch, which should get me right through to a big batch. I cooked up I think it was 8 small sweet potatoes around this size. I cooked up a couple of red capsicums that were just about they were starting to get that wrinkly look on there. They've been in the fridge for a couple of days, so I just chopped them up and threw them in, and I'll chop them up in small pieces and sprinkle them over my salads and stuff like that. So I've been just really in learning mode at the moment. So I am still I've cut out all animal products, but now what I'm focusing on is getting rid of the substitutes that I put in. So I have a substitute cheese there. I've had 2 slices since I purchased it, which was 2.5 weeks ago. So really it's not a lot in there, but to lose the weight when I get down to my goal weight, then maybe I might add it in for once a week. I do like a Promite and cheese sandwich, what can I say? I'm just going to address some of the not concerns, but just the encouragement that I received from people for sharing my story and wanting to come along with me on this journey. I'm not calling it a weight loss journey. I'm actually this is a journey back to health. Weight loss is going to be a side effect of that back to health, because I am overweight. I am, if you go by my BMI, I am obese for my height, and that's not good for anybody. Whether I was healthy eating or not, that's still not good. So I do need to lose some weight, and that's what this is about. And I want to share it with you. And basically, my whole point of sharing it with you is if this can get you to start a conversation with your doctor, or maybe get you to think that you need to maybe drop a few pounds or drop a few kilos, depending where you live in the world, or a few stone if you're over in the UK. If that gets you to have a think about it and maybe implement some of these things into your life, and that helps you, then so be it. mostly this is here for my journey because I want to see where I've come from and where I end up, and just basically being honest about it. And you know, like, I feel like crap. I feel like I have been, yeah, I can put all the makeup on in the world, I can put all the nice clothes on, I can do my hair up, and all the rest of it, but at the end of the day I'm still feeling crap, and that's not good in my book. So that's why I'm here, and I'm going to share it with you. So hopefully I don't bore you too much. As I said, some weeks it might only be a 5 or 10 minute video, other weeks it might be a 30-minute video. If you've got any questions at all, if you want me to point you in the direction of what I've been watching or anything like that, please leave me a comment down below. I am still getting together the photos of, you know, I'm getting a photo log together and all the rest of it. I've started keeping a journal of how I'm feeling and what benefits I've got and all the rest of it. And as I said last week, this week on the 1st of February is going to take my weights and measurements again. I hadn't done that for a couple of weeks. Got a cup of tea and my throat's a little bit dry this morning. So yeah, so basically I have taken my weights of measurements. I've started keeping a journal, and I started keeping that on the day that I filmed the last video. So that was the 29th. So I started the vegan, like cutting out all of the animal products on the 14th of January. It took me a couple of weeks to psych myself up for it. There is a thing of veganary or something like that for January, for people to, you know, to start the new year on the right foot and stuff like that. I've learned a lot about the impacts of my eating habits and the global eating habits are having on the environment, and all that sort of stuff, and that all goes hand in hand. I've also learned a lot, and as I said in the last video, I am coming from a very ignorant place, or maybe not so much ignorant. I knew that there was practices out there that weren't that, like, you'd have to have your head under a rock not to know, but I'm learning more about animal welfare and the impacts it has, and probably what's brought that around the most is the fact that the current situation that we're in, which is the global pandemic, has stemmed from animals. So I'm looking into that as well. I'm not going to get preachy about it. Like, it's up to you. It's up to you to learn all that sort of stuff, but I am going to mention it from time to time because I'm learning about it, and that is part of my journey. So yeah, so basically, at this stage, I am not going to be doing recipes or anything like that. I am going to tell you what I've been eating and all that sort of stuff. I'm not going to show videos of it or anything like that. This is purely just what I've done in the week, a catch up with you, a check in with you. It's to keep me accountable too, because sometimes I get really lazy and I don't continue with it. So if I'm accountable to some people, then that's great. So at this point, I just like to say thank you so much to all those that reached out to me and offered encouragement and told me that I've got this. To Nicole of Journey of a Stitcher, she is a nutritionist and she reached out to me as well. So if I want any advice, she's actually has a degree in nutrition, so that will be handy to know. We've been chit-chatting over the course of the past 18 months over cross stitch and all the rest of it, but this is actually great that I'll get to know her on another level as well. And don't worry, Nicole, I will be asking for advice if I'm not sure about something or I get a little bit confused, and hopefully you'll be able to help me. Now, so, and all those people out there that have said they're going to be following with me, welcome, and welcome to the journey. I'm hoping that you get some inspiration from it, and I'm really glad that you're along for the journey. And hold me accountable, people. Hold me accountable. All right, so I'm going to get into, now that we've got through all that bit and all the rest of it, I'm going to get into what I've done in the last week and how I've been feeling. Well, in a nutshell, I've been feeling great. I don't know if you can notice, like I can see it on camera. I do have just some BB cream on today, but I can see that my cheeks are looking a little bit rosy underneath that, and that's just a moisturized cream that has a little bit of tint in it. And I got my eyelashes done yesterday, so they look like they're fully done up, and I don't actually have any eye makeup on at all. It's just the eyelashes. So yeah, I am looking a lot better. I don't look like death warmed up for lack of a better term. For the last, the end of last year, I was looking really, really deathly sick in the mirror. Like, I looked in the mirror and While I love all the comments when people say you don't look 50 and all the rest of it, I love them. But you know what? I was looking 50. I was looking older than 50. And I can honestly say I'm starting to feel a lot better in the face. I look a lot better in the face, rather. And I'm feeling like I don't need to put makeup on. I've got a little bit of rosiness back in my cheek, whereas I was looking very pale prior to Christmas and prior to starting this, and even a week into it I was still looking pale. It's probably only been this week that I've really started to see the notice the difference in my skin, and also my eyes look a lot clearer too. I was waking up with very bloodshot eyes, and I was waking up with a sore throat, which was stemming from my snoring, and it's another reason that I have to lose weight, because if I keep going, it's going to cause all sorts of problems. And if you've done any research into snoring is not a good thing for the body. It puts a lot of stress on the body. So it's got to the point now where my husband actually doesn't sleep in the same bed with me because of my snoring, and that's not flying with me. It's a little bit personal and I don't share those sort of things, but it's been over a year now, 18 months now, that he hasn't slept in the same bed with me, and I really don't like that. Like, I like that intimacy of us being together in the bed and whatnot, and I want it back. So yeah, and this is all, you know, these are all the reasons that I'm doing this. So I'm feeling a lot better. I'm feeling that good that I've actually forgot to take my thyroid medication a couple of times this week. So I've actually made a note in my journal to thyroid medication, because that is something that I shouldn't be playing around with or anything. I haven't been able to get into the doctors just yet. I'm hoping that she will have, I ring every day to see if I can get in, and I've got an appointment for in 2 weeks. She's a very busy doctor, and because my stuff isn't important as such, I've allow other people to get into the doctors and all the rest of it. So I ring every morning and see if I can get an appointment, but she hasn't had one for the last couple of days. So yeah, a lot of people, I did have a couple of emails and asking me why I had chose to go full in. Like, yeah, they understood vegetarian, but why vegan? It's just a personal choice, really. It's not because of any one reason. But I have written down a couple of the whys. The whys is to become healthy, to lose weight, to relieve some or if not all of the joint pains that I have in my knees and also in my back. My lower back has started to hurt, which means that I'm carrying too much weight. To be a better version of me for longevity, to help the environment, and to save money on food and healthcare. Now, that one there is a big one. If I'm healthy, then I'm going to save money on healthcare. I'm not going to need as much healthcare. If I can do that with diet, I would much rather do that with a diet than pill. So this is not for everybody, and I don't think it is for everybody. So these are my reasons why. Okay, so you know that my starting weight was 87 kilos. And basically, I wrote in my diary today, I decided to vlog my journey. So hopefully, and I will put in some pictures in this video of that one was just taken last week, so you can sort of see me. You can't see me fully, but and I'll find some other ones that are fairly recent, and you can see the weight that I'm carrying. All right, so I decided last Thursday that I was going to keep a journal, so I've been logging everything that I've been eating. For the most part, I am also logging when I'm waking and how I'm feeling when I wake up, whether I've gone to bed really late and all that sort of stuff. And of course, I'm having a cup of tea and I've got the hiccups. Always the way first thing in the morning. All right, so in the last week, I have really been watching my water intake and all the rest of it. I've cut out coffee altogether as well. I haven't had coffee for, I've had 1 cup of coffee in 3 weeks. And that was the other day. I was just super tired and I knew that would pick me up, so I went and got a coffee on almond milk. Generally, if I'm out and about, I'll get on almond milk. If I'm at home, I drink black coffee. So because I haven't been able to have milk for quite some time. So for breakfast, and I'm just looking at my breakfasts over the last couple of days. I generally have avocado toast with a slice of tomato on it, like slices of tomato. So I end up having a full tomato, and I have half an avocado, 2 slices of ancient grain bread from Marco bread from Woolworths. And to find out what breads were vegan and stuff like that, because not all breads are vegan. Some have milk or whey products in them. So basically I just did a Google search, and I found a couple of sites that actually list all the stuff that is vegan. So it is ancient grains bread, so it's got all seeds and stuff in it. So I have 2 slices of that with half an avocado, so a quarter of an avocado on each one, and then I usually top it with a cup of bean sprouts or snow pea sprouts or alfalfa. So whatever I've got in the fridge, I generally rotate that through the week. I eat a ton of that stuff and do normally. So and then I also I get these in the section of Woolworths, they have baby cucumbers for the school lunches. I grab a couple of bags of those every time I'm there. I have them in the fridge all the time because Mia likes them. And I get carrot sticks already cut up as well, just to save me some time. So I generally have a cup full of those. So, and when I say cup, just a measuring cup. So it's usually a little bit more, but that's sort of what I aim for. And because ages ago I was calorie restricting and stuff like that, I generally know how much goes into a cup. I don't actually measure out my stuff now. It's just that is sort of in my brain from when I was calorie restricting. And basically what I do is I grab say little tubs of hummus, and they are vegan ones from, I think it's Chris brand it is, from Woolworths, and they come in little tubs. So I just grab a tub of those and have that with it, and I dip my carrots and stuff in it, and I usually chuck about 20 olives on the plate as well, because I like to have my olives, always have done. I have jars of them all the time, in like large jars, and Mia and I just scoff on them all the time. So I generally have about 20 olives, anywhere from 15 to 20 olives. That's usually just a couple of scoops, and it ends up to be about 20, sometimes more, sometimes less. So that's what I aim for. And the carrot sticks, well, that's about, the bags come in 200 grams, and it's about 100 grams of about half a bag of carrots. So I grab a heap of those. And that's what I have for breakfast most mornings. When I have breakfast, I generally am super busy in the morning and don't have time when I'm getting the kids out the door. So I generally have that around 10:30, 11 o'clock is when I have breakfast. I have a cup of tea in the morning, and then I might come out here and do a little bit of work and all the rest of it, and then I'll have breakfast around then. Sometimes I might go a little bit later. It's just because I get super busy, but I eat a ton of stuff. So my breakfasts are always big. And then I have 2 big main meals a day. So I have the big breakfast, or brunch. It's more brunch. And then I have dinner, and I might have some snacks in between. So I've been having a banana or an apple or some grapes or some strawberries or a handful of cherry tomatoes. Or something like that. So, and when I say a handful, I mean a handful. So I put in like, they don't have many calories in them. They're not going to fill me up for long. They're just a snack. And then I eat dinner. So for dinner this week, I've had a couple of different ones. I had a rice and bean curry the other night for dinner. And I've also had couscous with spinach and carrot and cherry tomatoes and all that sort of stuff through it. Starches fill me up and keep me full for a long time. And I've been learning a lot about starches and everything in the starch solution. So there is something to it for me, for my body. I feel full on them. Yeah, so the other night I had a vegan macro bowl. I found a recipe, and I'll put that recipe, I hope I saved it. If I didn't, I'll find it. But I put the recipe down below. It had tofu, carrot, brown rice, It had half a head of broccoli in it. It had sweet potato, and I could have put some pickled ginger on there, but I didn't have any, so I thought I had some, but I didn't. For lunch on day 18, which was the 1st of February, I actually had quite a lot to eat on this day, and I wasn't overly full either, but I was satisfied all day. So I had breakfast earlier because I didn't have as much running around to do, and I had I had my alfalfa sprouts, tomato and avocado on toast, and I had a banana with that on 2 slices of bread. So, and then I had for lunch I had a falafel wrap with about 3 cups of salad in a bowl, and then I just chucked all the salad stuff in that, and I put some leafy greens on the so some of that salad on the wrap with the falafel, and then I had that macro bowl. Last night I had yesterday I skipped breakfast. I just wasn't hungry. So I had my brunch, which was my avocado, although I did have a slice of vegan cheese on that. Yesterday I checked out what my calories were because I woke up a little bit hungry, but then I wasn't. So I woke up hungry, I had a drink, and then it sort of went away. So I think I was more thirsty than hungry. So I just wanted to sort of double check to make sure that I was getting enough calories and not being under, and I'm not going into calorie counting or anything like that. It was more just to make sure that I was meeting my requirements and all the rest of it. So I ended up doing 1,200 calories yesterday, which is a little bit on the low side, but I'm not active at the moment, so I've got no exercise in my diet, in my life at the moment. The only thing I have is work, and it's predominantly sitting down, so that's not too bad. That will still keep me in a calorie deficit, because to lose weight I need to be in a calorie deficit. It doesn't matter what diet you're following, I need to be in a calorie deficit. That is just the rules of the game when it comes to losing weight. If you're in a calorie deficit, your body will burn the fat that you have in your body, and then basically you will end up losing weight. So again, I had lots of stuff. Like last night I had basmati rice with half a cup of miso soup. So I have these little miso satchels, and I just make up a half a coffee cup, and then I just pour it over, and in that I threw in 250 grams, like a bag of baby spinach. I think it was 250 grams. It might have been 200 grams, but anyway, I threw that in. I threw in half a bag, so half of 300 gram bag of it was a little over, of bean sprouts. I chucked in half a cup of sweet potato, quarter of a cup capsicum, and quarter cup of zucchini, and that was sort of a recipe that I was putting together, so I actually did measure that stuff out. Yesterday was my best day on water. I drank 2 liters of water, so I felt awesome last night. I didn't have heartburn, and I've been going to the toilet regularly as well, so there's been no change in bowel movements and all the rest of it. I've been monitoring my fasting blood sugar, and it has been sitting, according to the scale, it's been sitting around midway on the scale on the little device. Still a little bit too high for my liking. I'm at the higher end of the scale, so I've had one really good reading, and it was sort of right at the lower end of the scale. So I had a look at what I ate the night before, and it was beans and rice and curry. I had a glass of almond milk for dessert. I was just thirsty and felt like some milk. So as opposed to actually having milk, I drank an almond milk. Although I didn't eat as much as I should have on that day. So I had 10 a.m. breakfast, 2 p.m. lunch, and 7 p.m. Dinner. So the next day I woke up and my fasting blood sugar was 3.9. Now that is a little bit too low for me. It's not too low, but it is on the lower end of the scale. Ideally, I'd like to be sitting around the 4.9, 5.2 in there. So that was what I used to sit on all the time when I was monitoring my bloods before, and I wasn't overweight at that stage. So these are probably going to go up and down for a while. This morning when I woke up, it was 6.9. Again, it's a little bit on the higher side. I'd like it to be down a little bit closer to the 5, just for my own, you know, that's sort of the mid of the low and the high. If I can get into that 5 mark, I'll be happy with that. So yeah, so I've been waking up between 6 and 6:30. I've been going to bed between 11 and 12 p.m. 12 a.m. sorry. And yeah, so basically I'm trying to get back into bed a little bit earlier, but I've just found that my head is so clear and I have no brain fog that I just can't seem to go to sleep. So I've been reading and journaling and planning and doing all that stuff and getting a lot of that stuff out of my head before I go to sleep. And once my head hits the pillow though, once I decide that's it, I'm going to sleep, I'm out. And I haven't been waking up. The other night, although last night I got up to go to the toilet because I drank 2 litres of water, and a litre of that was after 3 p.m. So I'm going to sort of try to limit the water intake after 3 p.m. I think a bit, and maybe just have a glass of water, you know, an hour before I go to bed, but have majority of my water drunk by then. But one thing you're probably wanting to know is, did I lose any weight in the last 2 weeks since I last took my measurements, took my weights? I'm happy to report that I have got down, and I'm just going past. As I said, I've got an old school scale here, so it's not a digital one. I am going to go out and buy a digital one. Basically, I am just right on to the 85 kilos. So I've lost 2 kilos since I started, and I took all of my measurements for on the 1st. So I took this on Monday the 1st. My weight was 85 kilos, and you can see that picture here. Excuse my horrid toenails, I've got to go and get them painted, but you can see I got as clear as pictures I could get. That's what I weighed. My waist is 106 centimeters or 42 inches. My bust is 109 centimeters or 42.9 inches. My thigh, which is the chunkiest part of my thigh, is where I'm measuring, is 67 centimeters, and that's 26 inches. My butt, so that is 113 centimeters, 44.4 inches. My hips are 109, so my bust and my hips are exactly the same. My upper arm on my right arm, so my dominant arm is the one that I'm measuring, is 36 centimeters, 14 inches. My calf is 42 centimeters, 16 inches. And my neck is 37. Now the reason I'm measuring my neck is because of my thyroid. So I'm just making sure that, although that's here, just making sure that there's no growth or anything like that. So yeah, so basically I measure that, and yeah, they are my measurements. So I have lost 2 kilos. For those that want to know that in pounds, that is 4.4 pounds in 2 weeks. So I'm thinking that I'm probably going to only weigh myself once a month on the 1st of each month. So I will have those details. If you would like to know if you want it more, just let me know in the comments below. I can do it I don't want to do it weekly. I would rather do it fortnightly, because I find the more I do it, the more obsessed I become with it. And this is not about obsession. This is about just getting in, making some lifestyle choices, and seeing where I end up. So on that note, I am in the excuse me, in the process of, hopefully my voice will get better with no snoring too. I'm in the process of doing out some meal planning and sort of that sort of stuff, and I've downloaded the app to my phone, which I've had there for quite some time, but haven't been using it, is the Dr. Mcdougall's app, and that's got a ton of recipes in it and whatnot. I'm really liking what he's got to say and the science behind it. I'm a bit of a science geek, so I'm really liking the science behind it, so I'm going to look into that a lot more in depth. Still following the same people on YouTube, so Sweet Potato Soul, Plantful Kiki, High Carb Hannah, and I just found a new girl, I think it's Chelsea May, I could be wrong, but I'll link them all down below, the ones that I'm watching. They do a lot of what I eat in a day and stuff like that. I'm not going to do that sort of stuff. I'll give you a brief overview of what I've done and all the rest of it. But I'm feeling really good. I'm not feeling hungry. I'm feeling full all the time. I'm eating way more food than I was before. So, and I'm losing weight. So there's something to eat more, lose weight, feel better, plantful, plates full of plants and all the rest of it. And yeah, I'm looking forward to seeing where this journey takes me. Thank you so much for joining me. All have a great week, and I'll check in with you all again next week. So every Thursday these videos go up. Don't forget, hit that subscribe button, little bell icon beside it so you don't miss out on any future posts, and hit that thumbs up as well. Leave me a comment down below and tell me what you think, and if you've got any advice for me or any books that I should read, let me know, and I'll get stuck into them. Have a great week, everybody, and I'll see you all again soon. Bye for now.